everyone, it's your boy Kevin back at it again for another mini review. Now this will be my very first time touching on a series. Our podcast, we just talk about films, but I've been getting requests from y'all and y'all been showing love, so I'm gonna go ahead and show love back and share my thoughts. Now first thing I was thinking is, do we really need another retelling of the Jeffrey Dahmer story? Look, I've seen the Dahmer movie back in 2002. I've seen the Ted Bundy movie back in 2002. I've seen other adaptations of Dahmer's story before, and it's disturbing. So I'm just thinking, like, what are we doing with this? And I just happened to be on Netflix one day, clicked on it, watched the first episode. It's like, maybe I should keep going. And I finished the show in 2 days. I was impressed. I thought it was actually well done. Ryan Murphy created this, and he did American Horror Story, he did American Crime Story, which is where I'm familiar with his work and where I was first introduced to Evan Peters. Evan Peters, who plays Jeffrey Dahmer. Incredible job. Very disturbing. Like people been saying, we're going to need therapy. But I like how this show added just a believable portrayal that humanized the quote-unquote monster, right? I also liked how this show felt like a true crime story of the life and times of Dahmer. Starting with episode 1, I was locked in because of the tension. I liked how the entire show, it was tension and it was very subtle. Like they didn't go the cheap route of, adding anything that was super gory or too grotesque. They didn't show you exactly all the crimes that he did. It was left for interpretation, and it was just there. It was subtle. And I think that that's kind of refreshing for the horror genre, that you can have horror without gore. And just knowing that Glenda could smell the decaying bodies and hear noises of him chopping up bodies, that made it horrifying. Another example of the subtlety that I like, opening the fridge to grab a beer and someone's head is in there. It happens so quick that you can miss it, but it's there. Niecy Nash as Glenda Cleveland, a standout performance as well. I thought she did a really good job. I didn't know who Glenda Cleveland was, so that was very good. Episode 6 was my favorite episode, focusing on Tony Hughes. I'm sure that's a lot of people's favorite episode. I thought that was very well done. I thought it was touching. I liked how they did the fade of the sound in and out like that. It kind of reminded me of the movie Sound of Metal. A great use of sign language and kind of giving us the deaf perspective. I liked that. But man, I thought the show did a good job focusing on the victims and just adding a little bit more depth to them, because that's something that we haven't really gotten before with these kind of disturbing stories. I thought that was a good thing to do for the families, and also just to help raise awareness, to kind of let us audience know who these people were, adding more depth to them. Also, I like that this show, it can possibly make you feel bad or even empathize with Dahmer. It didn't for me, but they kind of do that through his childhood, with him being this awkward, oddball that doesn't know how to communicate with his peers, not even his own family. In this show, it particularly stands out because it's showing you kind of like your parents, like how important it is for your parents in your life. His mom abandoning him, his dad not being there only hurt him. Also, shout out to the dad in this show. He did a really good job. He had a strong performance. You feel for him because he questions, did he contribute to his son being a psycho killer, inviting him to dissect roadkill? This was the only way he knew how to bond with his son, and he thought he was doing something good for him. So it leaves the question, did that ultimately hurt him? Because it's like, his dad is like, this is the only interest I know that he has. This is the only way I can relate to him. Last point on the show I'll make is that I just think that showing the racial injustice in this show is probably my favorite thing they did. Dahmer had the complexion for the protection, ladies and gentlemen. People making police calls to his apartment, police just letting it go. Maybe just seeing him as a nerdy white male, they chunk it up to him being just awkward and, they don't take it seriously. Glenda in the community is not taken seriously. Everybody's complaining about the missing boys. And what do? They just let it go. He got the complexion for the damn protection. And I think that we see that all too often, everybody. So I do like that they showed that. Last thing I'll add, I'll say that I think that they also did a good job of showing us how sloppy he was at times, him drugging himself, him making mistakes as he was committing these crimes. I think that adds a little bit more realism to it, and it shows that he's not as smart as what people thought he was. So I would give this show an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was well done. I thought it was good. This is, a disturbing story based on true events. Y'all know about Dahmer back in the day. So if that kind of thing triggers you, I wouldn't watch it. But if you are into this kind of thing and you like these kind of portrayals, or you like true crime stories, or if you listen to crime podcasts based on serial killers, all that good stuff, then you'll think this show is well done. So, hey, until next time, y'all let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments. Peace.